this video, I'm talking about Mammoth Cave National Park. Now, is it worth the trip, and why do I feel like there are not a lot of photos and videos of what is the largest cave system on the planet? Now, I'll tell you what my theories and thoughts are a little bit later in the video, but I'm going to cover details on the national park itself, the hikes that I did recently that I recommend, Mammoth Cave, and the surrounding areas that make the trip more fun. Little hint, they do have a thing called Big Mo there. It's the largest fossilized Mosasaur. We got to see that, so it's kind of a treat. They do have a lot of funky stuff over there in that part of the world. So if you're not familiar with me, my name is Joel. I'm a photographer and videographer. Big part of my story is that I've been sober since 2022. And since then, I've traveled to over 45 US states and 30 countries abroad. So this channel focuses on travel tips as well as photography and videography tips to help you capture better images when you travel. So if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It helps me to keep making videos. So let's dive into it. One trail I would recommend is the Green River Bluff Trail, which is just past the Visitor Center. It's a 4.4 mile loop trail and it's moderate difficulty, so a great all around. If you want to see some cave views just off the side of the trail and see some great overlooks, that's a perfect one. And then be sure not to miss the Sand Cave Trail. Great for just a short little hike. It's really more of a bridge to an overlook, and they go over on some placards the history of Floyd Collins, who was a cave explorer. He unfortunately got trapped in one of the entrances to Mammoth Cave. His attempted rescue and the attention that circulated around it in the media at the time ended up being kind of a catalyst to making Mammoth Cave a national park. So his story is told on some placards at that trail, as well as the Visitor Center in their permanent exhibit that they have. So great history if you're interested. So obviously the best part of Mammoth Cave National Park is Mammoth Cave, and you'll definitely want to do a tour. Now they do have several different ones you could choose from, but we chose the historic tour, which is the most popular, and the tickets do sell out, so you want to get those in advance on the website. And that's where I learned, once we started doing the tour, the answer to my question on why aren't there more photos and videos of Mammoth Cave, the largest cave system on the planet. And when I think of a cave experience that I've done, I think of stalactites and stalagmites and maybe a big kind of payoff that you're looking forward to. Like with Ruby Falls, there's a underground waterfall. With Mammoth Cave, it's the awe-inspiring feeling of feeling so small in such a massive underground space. It is vibes. The special thing about Mammoth Cave is the vibes, the feeling of feeling like an ant underground, like you've been swallowed whole by the planet. And it's hard to explain, but it's even more difficult to photograph. So there isn't like a payoff, like a beautiful stalactite formation that you can show from a different angle, or a waterfall that you can light up in the darkness. There are some things like they call it fat man's misery, where you have tight squeezes. They have the bottomless pit, where it's only a little over 100 feet down, but at the time when they named it, they only had lanterns, so they couldn't see very far down. But the history that you learn when you're there, you're seeing people's names they've written in the walls and on the ceilings, sometimes by candle fire, with their name and the date where it's 1700s or 1800s. is fascinating because you're taking the same trip that they took hundreds of years ago, and it's been used by humans for 5,000 plus years. So very amazing experience. I would love to hear what your thoughts were if you've taken that tour. You know, what were your thoughts? Like, do you think that you got some great photos that maybe did encapsulate it? I haven't seen them, so maybe you should put those online. So the gear that I chose to bring to photograph what I could while I was taking my cave tour, I had to keep in mind that, you know, professional photography and flash photography is not allowed. You're not allowed to bring tripods or monopods. And all around, I wanted to capture as nice footage as I could without, you know, kind of ruining the experience for others around me, and also being able to enjoy it myself. So what I chose to bring was the, what I'm shooting this on now, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I was going to use my Osmo Action 5 because it has a night mode that I wanted to try out, but I haven't used on this yet. I was a little bit worried about how bright the screen is, that it might be too much of a bother, but now that I've taken the tour and I saw, you know, 110 people around me using their bright iPhones, I don't think this is going to be an issue. This would actually be less bright than the phone. So next time I'll try this. But those are two recommendations. If you have an action cam with a low light mode, or the Osmo Pocket 3 was really good. So just outside Mammoth Cave National Park is Cave City, and this area, they have a claim to fame of having some of the most unique, biggest and longest and largest things. And Big Mike's Rock Shop has rocks and it has gifts, but it also has Big Mo. And Big Mo is the largest fossilized Mosasaur skull. It's a dinosaur skull that, you know, you see. Kind of underwhelming, but they say it's the biggest in the world. The other place that I do recommend is Mammoth Valley Park. Mammoth Valley Park does kind of like answer the question, like, what would a theme park look like if you only had a budget of $500 to build the entire place? They have a claim to fame of the longest double zip line in Kentucky and the longest alpine slide. There's also putt-putt and bumper cars. You know, they have more staff than customers, and it is a little sad looking, but we had a fun time going down the alpine slide, and it was like 10 bucks. So go hang out with them at Mammoth Valley Park. Some people have asked me, is it worth the trip to go to Mammoth Cave National Park? And simply put, absolutely. The place is a thriving ecosystem. tons of wildlife, beautiful sights to see, inside the park, and outside the park there is a ton of things to do, no matter what your interests are. So highly recommend it. And if you like this kind of content that I share, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions that I didn't cover in the video, I'm happy to answer them if you just leave a comment below. Thanks.